Hiya, I'm Jacqueline and I'm from Tiger's Wreath Boutique, and I thought I would jump on quickly and show you how I box up my wreaths to get sent off to my customers. This is my little lemon wreath. Well, I'm saying little, it's actually 18 inches. But I thought I'd pop on, show you how I box it up and where I get all my supplies from, and I hope it helps you. And let's get started. So the first thing we do is make sure our wreath's all finished, not just at the front but at the back. Make sure there's no little spikes sticking out. This is a 12-inch grapevine wreath, but just check there's nothing hard there. It might scrape their door or scrape their glass. I also put a little tag on mine just to help hang it. It's just a bit of paper covered wire, you get that from Amazon. So that's the back of it, nice and tidy, and the front. So make sure there's no hot glue. You get a lot of little strands of hot glue when you're gluing your stuff in. If you've got an awful lot of them, just get a hairdryer and put it onto high heat very quickly, give it a blast round, and that'll melt all your little strands for you. It'll keep it really nice and neat. So the first thing I do when I go to box my wreaths is I start off with my pipe cleaners. So you need 4 pipe cleaners. This is a 12-inch grapevine base, but when it's all finished and made up, it actually measures 18 inches from side to side. So you're going to need your pipe cleaners to hold it in place in the box. So get 2 pipe cleaners and just twist them together. Just to join them together, you need 1 big long pipe cleaner for each side. And this is just going to go in the box and hold your wreath in place so it doesn't rattle about too much. That's huge, just make sure that's nice and tight. And do your second one. I always try and use a slightly different colour from my wreath just so that the customer can see the pipe cleaners right away. And then they just untwist them and take the wreath out. That's it. So I've got 2 pipe cleaners, and the pipe cleaners I just get them from any craft shop really. Hobbycraft is really good. They're getting more expensive there though, but I have tried Amazon ones, I've tried eBay ones, and they're just not as good as the Hobbycraft ones. The Hobbycraft ones are really nice and thick and very strong, they last for ages. So put my wreath down and you need to get a box. So these boxes I've got, I actually had some boxes made before. They cost a lot of money, I wouldn't do it again. These ones I actually buy, they're 530mm by 530 and 300mm depth. I get mine from Moorcan, but you can get them from eBay as well. I've seen some on eBay and some on Amazon as well, probably a lot cheaper. So this is my box. They come flat packed, you just build them up, they're very simple to put together. First thing you do is put your wreath in the box. Make sure it fits, make sure you've got plenty of space all the way around it. I get a little bradawl here. This is a really old bradawl I've had for years. And you make 2 holes in your wreath, 1 at each side of the wreath, because you're going to tie this in place to hold it down. So just very gently, as close to your wreath as you can get, punch a wee hole there, and 1 the other side. And do the same thing on the other side of your wreath. So a little hole there, and a little hole there. So take your wreath back out, and these are going to be the holes that you put your pipe cleaners through. So you just go ahead and find your hole and start putting your pipe cleaners through it. So you're just making a U shape with your pipe cleaner here. That's the first one in. And that's the second one in. Don't worry if the bits we twisted together with pipe cleaner are on the back. It should look like that anyway, so don't worry if they're sticking out. Open your box up. So you've now got your box and you've got your pipe cleaners there, all ready to go. The next thing I do is, because I've got a lemon wreath, I use some lemon tissue. So here we go, some nice coloured tissue. I usually use 3 sheets for each wreath. So I'll put the first one down, and one on the bottom, and then I use the third one to cover up the top of it once it's in the box. So that's the tissue down. I get all my tissue paper. I get it actually a lot of used to get it in Home Bargains. Home Bargains was really good for tissue paper, but recently they've not had much in. But the likes of the range, I actually got a really good one from WH Smith. A great big packet. It was quite reasonable. But that's where I generally get mine. Put your wreath in the back in the box and just give it a couple of twists there. And I always leave these sitting really high so my customer can see them straight away. And your other side, and just twist that away, and that'll hold your wreath in place, because when they're out for delivery, unfortunately the delivery drivers aren't that careful with your wreath as you are, and they tend to throw them around. So just check your wreath's nice and tight. I could actually tighten this one a wee bit more. Just make it nice and secure. As I say, the one thing you don't want to do is have your wreath rattling about in the box. So there we go. That's my wreath tied into my box now. When I'm giving this to my customer, I like to give them a couple of little gifts in the box as well. So one of the things I do is I use one of these little boxes. These are just little favour boxes that you buy. I got these on eBay. I think it was 99p I paid for them. They come in a packet like this, all flat packed with the ribbons, and you just make them up. And I usually put a wee Ferrero Rocher inside them, and I just put that in the middle of my box, just something nice. On top of that, I also put in the invoice. So this is the customer's invoice of what they bought, and I fold that up and put that in as well. And a nice little thing I do is I just like to give them a little thank you card. So again, a little thank you card. I just write a nice wee message inside that and pop it in the envelope. So I have that here. I also put in these little cards. I actually got them from that shop, Scribe. I think it was on By Road I got this one. It's a little pack of 10, really nice, really lovely cards in there. The invoice you just print off from Etsy. Etsy already provide that. You just print it straight off from the computer. Inside that I'll put my little business cards. So I have my little business cards here. I get these from Vistaprint. Really good, dead easy to do. I made this up. I'm rubbish on computers, but I actually made this little design up myself and got them printed. If you're stuck, the Vistaprint people are really good at helping you. So I usually give them 3 or 4 of these wee cards in their envelope. Hopefully you'll keep one and maybe hand a few out to their friends when they get them. So pop that in my envelope. The same as with this, also from Vistaprint, I got my little stickers. So I'll get a little sticker and I'll just pop one of them on the back of the envelope like that, and that matches my business cards. I've got a little sales invoice and I just pop the 2 under here like that. Little Ferrero Rocher on top. I'm sure that rattles about while it's going. I put a little bit of tissue in the middle. And I'll pop the cards down inside. Like that. I put a little bit of sellotape on them just to hold them in place. There we are. That's the business card. Saves them rattling about the place. I cover the whole thing with tissue paper, and the top bit of tissue paper. That's this. That wee bit wants to fold under. Put that there, and then finish it off with a little sticker. Yeah, Tiger's Wreath Boutique. How pretty is that? Colours are really nice. Then just close your box over. If you can't get a box the right size, I used to buy slightly bigger boxes from Amazon, more square boxes, and you can buy an actual little cutter blade and use your little cutter blade to cut it down. Next thing to do is just get your packing tape, very noisy, and just put it on your box. Get your box all nice and one. I always just put two on the edges because I've always got a fear of these boxes opening, don't know why. So I just put one that way and one that way. There we go. Stick all that down. These wee corner bits. I'll turn it around and do the next side. There you have. So inside there you've got your little thank you card, you've got your little chocolate, you've got your sales receipt, and of course your wreath. And it's all nicely secured, so nothing should run out of it. Hopefully it'll get to where it's going without too much damage. I have had not many, but I have had two boxes that were totally destroyed in the post. One of them went missing, the other one came back a few months later and it was hanging in pieces. I don't know what they were doing to the box, but touch wood, most of my boxes arrive on time, really good condition. That's your box. Then once you've done that, you turn it over, you get another bit of tape and you cover your wee bits at the back, because the one thing you don't want is these getting caught in a conveyor belt or caught in a bit of machinery when they get to the sorting office, which would be a disaster. So just a wee bit of tape over each of them, just like that, just wash them down, and then that's your wreath all packed. The next thing you have to do is your packing label. So you have to go back onto your Etsy and print off your label. I'll go do that just now and then I'll come back and show you me sticking that to the box. So there you have it, that's our big wreath box. I have to cover up my dress there so you can't see my client's dress. All ready now to go to the Every shop and get it posted. Every are really good, they do some really good prices for posting your big parcels. And that's me. I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you watch again, watch some other ones. Thanks for joining me. Bye.